Zion is a famous place, and here's what you get. Some mountains high, a tunnel long, and reasons to be wet. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to My Travel Window, where we help you travel as far as you can while you can. Today we're going to continue our series of travel in an RV through the national parks. We're going to start our 1,100-mile week-long journey around southern Utah and northern Arizona and 6 national parks. Today, starting with Zion. Stay to the end and I'll show you how many mountain sheep there are in this Zion picture. Let's start with the name. I can understand potato, potato, or tomato, tomato, but you'd think that a park name that has only 4 letters wouldn't have any controversy over pronunciation. The question is whether the last 2 letters should be pronounced like the on switch of a light switch, Zion.
Good morning from Zion National Park.
Ernest from Tripastude. In this video, we're doing a destination review of Zion National Park.
Or whether the sound, like the O-N in the word onion, Zion.
Zion is Utah's oldest and most popular national park.
All right, in southern Utah now, Zion National Park broke another record.
Having gone to high school and college in Utah, I can attest to the fact that the vast majority of Utah residents say Zion, and I will use that in this video. But I'm quite content to let the controversy simmer and let people say it however they want. My primary care physician has a goal of seeing every national park with his family. Of the 63, he only has about 5 to go. I asked him recently which was his favorite. He didn't hesitate. Zion. A lot of other people feel the same. In 2021, for the first time, Zion passed Yellowstone to become the 2nd most visited national park behind Great Smoky Mountains. So what's the problem? Size. Zion is literally being loved to death. Yellowstone is crowded, particularly in the summer months, and gets very close to the same number of visitors. But Yellowstone is 15 times the size of Zion. Not only that, but the road system funnels all those visitors along a single road with a particularly narrow tunnel. A careful look at this map will show you the problem. As you can see, there's one major road through the park, and in the middle of this road is a narrow, mile-long tunnel, too narrow for RVs and larger vehicles to pass side by side. In order to get traffic through, the road closes every time a large vehicle approaches, and cars only pass one way at a time, led by a pilot car. You pay a toll for this service. We had to pay this toll with our Ford 550 truck even when not pulling our trailer. You can imagine what this does to the traffic flow. At peak season, the reality is that the park cannot handle the volume. The solution? Various forms of rationing of cars or people. During peak seasons, the park runs a mandatory shuttle service. Access to the park is only available by parking your car outside and taking a shuttle into the park. You are still allowed to drive all the way through the park, you just can't stop. Occasionally, people have been turned away altogether. And, starting this year, a lottery is being instituted for the most famous hike within the park, the challenging 5.5-mile trek to Angel's Landing, a spectacular trail that ends in a panoramic view above the Virgin River Canyon. So what's the draw? Climbing, wildlife, spectacular scenery. But the main draw is hiking. One of the most famous hikes, called the Narrows, involves walking through the river, shallow and about 20 to 30 feet wide, with 1,000-foot cliffs on both sides. Another is the aforementioned Angel's Landing hike, which gives spectacular views of Zion Canyon, but is taxing and dangerous at points. So where can you stay in an RV to visit the park? There are 3 hub locations around the park: Cedar City to the north, Kanab to the southeast, St. George to the southwest. St. George is the largest. It's a winter snowbird mecca. With 100,000 people, it has a wide variety of RV camping, is 33 miles from the park, and has a shuttle that runs 13 times a day to and from the park. Kanab, famous as a filming location for many movies, has about 5,000 people. We stayed near there and loved the restaurants and the small town vibe, but found rental cars to be prohibitively priced. Cedar City, with a population of 30,000, is near the north end of the park and is not as convenient as the other two because it's about twice as far from the primary southern entrances. When we went to the park, my wife's knees did not allow us to do any hiking together. I did one short hike, and I can definitely see the attraction. In my mind, if you want to hike in a national park, this has to be on your bucket list. Even without the hikes, as you can see, there are spectacular vistas from the road. We went to the park in mid to late October, and I consider it to be the perfect time to go. It's extremely hot in the summer and gets snow in the winter, but when crowds thin in the fall, the conditions are ideal. If you do your research, you'll discover almost everyone will tell you the same thing. Next time, we'll continue our 1,100-mile loop around the wonders of southern Utah, picking up Cedar Breaks National Monument and Kodachrome Basin State Park on the way to Bryce Canyon. Spectacular, but in an entirely different way. As promised, here's the picture we took on the drive through Zion. Well camouflaged, you may not at first notice the mountain sheep in the picture. Let me point them out. 1, 2, 3. You'll need a wide-angle lens for most of the park. But the moral of this is, don't forget to bring the binoculars or the telephoto lens when you come to Zion. You won't regret it. Until next time, safe travels.